Now, you always get the question, okay, but what kind of personality was Jesus? Well, I think you're right, Rebecca. I think he exhibited the appropriate behavior at the appropriate time, which is the definition of maturity. The appropriate behavior at the appropriate time. Let's look at some of the characteristics or some of the personality traits that Jesus exhibited. He exhibited the D trait when he was turning over the tables, right? Turning over the tables there at the temple. And also when he's going up against the Pharisees in Matthew 23, you hypocrites, you brood of vipers. He went after them. He was no sissy. He wasn't Barney. He was tough. How about eye traits? How about feeding the 5,000 and then telling them stories? If there's anything an eye loves, is to eat and tell stories. Let's go get some. How many loaves you got? You got a few? Well, we'll have a party. You know? We'll spread them around. Come on, let's gather around. I'm going to tell you some stories, tell you some parables. S traits, washing the feet, serving. In fact, it says in Mark chapter 10, verse 45, the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. So ultimately, Jesus was the servant. That's the S personality. The suffering servant, according to Isaiah 53. He was the servant. He came to serve, and he demonstrated that many times. How about the C, when he's stumping the Pharisees? How many questions did he ask? He asked the Pharisees, they tried to say, was John's baptism from heaven, or was it from man? On what authority do you tell me these things? Or he asked them, it's getting late now. I can't even think of that passage now. Well, there's several questions Jesus asked, as you know. How about the one where they tried to, the famous one is when they come to him and we're going to trap him now. Should we pay taxes to Caesar? Remember that? What did he say? Whose image is on the coin? And they said, oh, Caesar's. Or he actually said, give me a denarius. And he looked at it and he said, Caesar's image is on the coin. Give to Caesar what is Caesar's, and give to God what is God's. And by the way, whose image is on you? God's. So give yourself to God. But he knew how to stump the Pharisees. They always thought they were going to get away with something, didn't they? And never could. So Jesus was a C when he needed to be. Now, by the way, how can you tell what somebody is? Because it's one thing to adapt to them. It's another thing to actually know how to adapt, because you got to figure out what they are. Now, in addition to knowing these traits that we just talked about, there's a couple of easy questions you can ask yourself to try and figure out what somebody is. When you meet somebody for the first time, you ask yourself two questions. Here are the two questions. First,